Welcome everyone. Starting up the small sessions, recuperations of the Sunday. We talked about on last Sunday, what is the purpose of the spiritual life? Why are we not just glorious animals? We are born, we live, we eat, we procreate, create more of generation of ours. So born yesterday and die tomorrow. That's a glorious animal life. Purpose of the spiritual life is to remove all sufferings and understand the power from within, which is the only one power with the human consciousness, human awareness. Why is it we are not aware of it? Why do we have to do sessions such as this? Why do we have to Shravanam, Mananam, Nididhyasanam? Shravanam, reflect back. Shravanam is listening. Shravana is also, Shravana means thinking about, doing research. Mananam. Mananam is I've heard what has been spoken to me in the Shravanam. I can repeat what has been given to me. Very important. In the ancient time in the Vedanta, before you answer the other person, you have to repeat exactly what the other person has said. If you could not, you were not honored to answer his question. The first you have to say what the other person has said before you start to refute it or cut it down. So Shravanam includes two. One is listening very carefully and understanding what they have said, and then give it back to the person before you go on to in the Mananam. Mananam is reflection. Have I understood it? Have I got it? And if I've got it, I need to reflect on it. I need to ask more questions to make it a form within me. And Nididhasanam is the main thing, is to make it my own. In the theistic religion, we have to have faith. We have to have faith in the book, faith in the teacher, faith in the guru. In the Vedantic method, you have to realize it yourself. You have to understand it. And towards that understanding, you have to have two things. One is get connected to that divinity which is within us. So that expressing that divinity from within, every walks of life, every walks of life. And it is not just running off to ashramas or mountains, or carry on pecking into this concept little bit and then change that concept and go into that concept little bit for spiritual, and no, not this one, let me go to that one. That is called, a very simple example, I need to drink a bowl of soup. I don't need 6 spoons to drink it. 1 spoon is enough. So understanding the various conceptual processes towards spiritual journey. Purpose of the spiritual journey is to remove that ignorance. How do you remove the ignorance? If I'm ignorant about German, I have to learn German. As simple as that. So, removing ignorance by knowledge. So the two aspects what we talk most importantly, where each human soul has that pact with the human consciousness, which is the divinity within. and expressing that divinity in every walk of life. And the second is spiritual oneness. We all feel different. We all feel different in two ways. One is we got different body, male, female, boys and girls, men and women, and then human beings and animals and plants, and then there are mountains and planets and dogs and dolphins and lakes and oceans. How can we be same? And second is our mind. I look at it the same thing differently, and my next person, maybe my husband, my wife, my children, my parent, my friends, my colleagues, my official colleagues, they all are looking at it differently. So we say, how can we be same? How can we be spiritual oneness? So the mistake that we have done, which we went through it, but this is the essence of the Vedanta. 2 words, 2 sentences, if you have to express and understand the Vedanta and its core value. We have traveled for a long time now, almost 9 years we have been dealing with Vedanta, 6 years very intensely, and last 2 to 3 years even more intensely. So the fact that you are in this team, it is because you are the chosen one. And this chosen one is you yourself, have got the message and you come into it. So through this spiritual oneness, what is the purpose? We feel I am a personality. Personality comes from the word persona. Persona comes from the Greek word meaning a mask. In the ancient time, people, when they went in the Greek stage in the auditorium, they would wear the mask and act a particular role. So from there came the persona, the word. Personality is we all wear different masks of our mind and various ways of appreciating. But all these are leading into one thing. The moment we come into the duality, we enter suffering. And the purpose of the spiritual life in its core value is to remove that suffering. How can we be removing the suffering? There is, my head is paining, my bottom is paining, I've got fever, I got COVID-19 fear, anxiety, depression. How can I be? And that is what is the understanding, which Buddha is expressing it beautifully. And he says there is suffering. There is a cause of suffering. There is a way to remove the suffering. And when you remove the suffering, you attain the nirvana, is the Ananda Prapti. So to express this, we will just go through a small story, which we have heard about it. But before that, understanding that sorrows and sufferings are not our natural state. A very important, powerful understanding through the Vedanta. We keep praying to God, Divine Mother, Shiva, Krishna, Allah, save me, heal me, cure me, heal my wife, my husband, my parent. It is not the natural state. Why do we get into it then? We don't want suffering. It is because of our ignorance. And what is that ignorance? It's the duality. We think I am separate and you are separate. The moment you and I come in separate, suffering begins. And the moment suffering comes in, tremendous amount of pain starts off. No, yes, I don't agree. Does it mean I have to agree with everything? No. It means you must ask question. But before asking question, know what the other person is saying. Generally what happens when two people are fighting, not just husband, wife, friends, before the other person is finished, you already take a deep breath and you start off your thing. You haven't understood what the other person is saying. So the essence of the Vedantic way of communication and answer is say what the other person has said it, and answer it. Then repeat exactly and then go ahead and answer it. When you do that, then you've done justice. How do you remove the spiritual duality and bring in the oneness? So in that, go back to the famous analogy of the gold and go to P. and Gadgil or go to Tiffany or Tanishq. You have lots of gold ornament, beautiful ones. Some tiara, some bangles, some necklace, some chain, some Mangal Sutras, but each one are different. But they all have one oneness, and that oneness is the gold. So the gold is the oneness. Look at the ocean, waves, ocean, bubbles, froth, and amongst the wave itself, there are so many different sizes and varieties of waves. And each wave feels different. And you and I in this social samsara, Krishna is telling Arjuna, duksha sarvasara. And this suffering is why? Because of this separation, duality. Why is the duality such a big problem? Just think, supposing I agreed to everything with my friend or my husband or wife, where is the conflict? And the moment there is no conflict, I'm not thinking, how could she do that? How could he do that? No, I don't agree with it. There is clash, there is war, the brain is busting, mind is busting, you back the door, you shut yourself, don't touch me, don't talk to me, is what? Separation, suffering. So, suffering is not the natural state, sickness is not the natural state. Natural state of the human consciousness is Ananda. Ananda Prapti. Duksha Nivritti, Ananda Prapti. How do we attain that? To understand the spiritual journey, I'm taking you back to that famous story which we have done many a time, very famous Vedanta story of the 10 men. 10 men crossing the river going towards the temple. As they cross the river, as they're drawing up their clothes, one man gets the idea and he said, let's count. Current was very swift. I hope everybody is there. He starts counting. And obviously, you remember the story. He counts 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9. We were 10. So what mistake is he doing? He's not counting himself. You and I are ignorant, are unconscious of our consciousness. We think we are a personality. We are an embodied mind-body person. My mind, my body, my name and form, my function. Embodied. That in which I'm forgetting about me. Today, if you look at it in the journey, right from tiny baby's age, school days, college days, what are we doing? We are going out and learning things from out there. We're doing a lot of study, right from writing, learning to write, learning to read, learning to do mathematics, and then science and art and various skill-oriented MBA, and then engineering, doctor, computer science, whatever we're doing is out there to get skills to earn money. But in this journey, we are forgetting what is within. In that spiritual journey of the 10 men, starts with Ajnana. They want to go to the other side towards getting the enlightenment within the temple. Ajnana. We don't know, we are ignorant. And then we cross the river. And as we cross the river, we start counting. And as we count, we find one is missing. Vikshepa. We start howling. Stage 4. Oh, the 10th man is dead. Oh, why my friends are dead. Poor guy. A wise man comes in. Comes Paroksha Jnana. 5th stage. What does he say? Why are you guys crying? Wise man quickly understand. Teacher, guru, whatever name you call. He says, no, you don't have to cry. Your 10th man is there. He could immediately see it. He says, count again. He said, we have counted. Everybody said, we have counted. There are not only 9. He said, count again. So again, they count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And the wise man catches hold of that person and put the hand on his chest and said, thou art the 10th. Dashavat Twasi. Spiritual journey. Awakening. Oh, 10th man is not dead. Understanding is coming in. 10th man, we are there. And from there, Vikshepa Nibritti, Duksha Nibritti, Ananda Prapti. 6th stage. Oh, we are not dead. Oh, so nice. And rejoicing, happiness. And from there come the ultimate bliss, Ananda Prapti. The 7 stages will quickly explain this. Why did these guys do that? Making the mistake. Because they were forgetting themselves. So our journey is to say, what we did in Sunday and today is that oneness in which, if I say in the ocean example, waves have water in it. Most people will shake hands. Maybe you all have done a lot of Vedanta, you won't. People will say, yes, there is water in the wave. No, it is not. Just imagine, remember, this glass has water in it. I can put the water into another place. The glass will remain, water will remain. 2 different objects. Water is one, glass is one. 2. Can I separate the water from the waves or the ocean? Can I separate the gold from the ornament? No. So, the water itself, it is not the water is there in the wave. Water itself has chosen to become the wave. Consciousness itself has chosen to become you and me as existence, consciousness, bliss. Sat, Chit, Ananda. And in this journey, in this spiritual journey, we are not going beyond that mind. Our ego and the doubts are coming in. What do we do then? We have to go ahead and remove it with knowledge. Recollect, we have talked about Drishya Viveka. Drashta and Drishya are separate. Essence of the Vedanta. Seer and the seen are different. I am seen. I more or less are one because my eyes are one. But the seen is different. Drashta cannot be seen unless Drishya and Drashta are separate. Have you realized you can never see your own eye? You say, no, I can see it in the mirror. No, what you see in the mirror is the reflection of your eye. You cannot see your own eye. Drashta cannot see the Drashta itself. And when you go on to Drashya and Drishyas, different. Drashta is more or less one. We'll do it in a little more details on Sunday. Drishya keeps changing. Drashta is one, Drishya are many. So 3 differences. Drashta and Drishya are separate. I and the seen are separate.
It's 7 o'clock.
I is one, Drishya are many. Drishya keeps on changing, I remains more or less constant. Now a little later, I realize I need a speck. Or I realize I'm feeling sleepy, this talk is boring. So my eyes are closing. I realize that I can see this, I cannot see it. I understand it, I do not understand it. So who is realizing that I need a speck? It is on the eye. Something is realizing it, and you and I know that is the mind. And now it is the mind becomes the drashta, I becomes the drishya. So I is seeing many things. Mind is one. Mind and I are different. I is different, mind is different. I seeing things, things are changing. And there are many, mind is one. And little later, I realize, yes, I like it. No, I don't like it. I understand it. I don't understand it. I love it. That reminds me, there is to be 3 cones of different types of ice cream. I want it is one type of cup. I got to have it, a little bigger cup. And I want to have it is the bigger cup. Same ice cream. It's the same way is over here in our life, if you look at it carefully. And who is seeing the mind? Mind more or less is in a many form, but it is the consciousness, Chaitana, is seeing the mind. The light from the consciousness is dropping on the mind and understanding the mind. Mind keeps changing. Consciousness is one. Consciousness cannot be witnessed by. Consciousness is the drashta. So, the moment you have that one element like the water in the ocean or in the lake or in the waterfalls or in the river or in the water vapor or in the cloud, everywhere there is water. One constant factor. You and I, to get into that oneness in all of us together, is that oneness is the consciousness. The water element in you and me, the gold element in all the elements. So that consciousness, the moment you and I get aligned, you have ocean of existence in which existence is this computer. Existence is me. Existence is the book, the clock. We generally say book exists, computer exists. Vedanta says the other way. Existence is the ocean which itself has formed to be the computer, the book, you and me and everything else. The consciousness itself has become you and me. And this oneness, when you align, Ananda Prapti, and the beauty is sufferings go away, sicknesses go away, your loss of job. Just think, I'm having a headache, a back pain. Who's having it? I'm having it. Normally I say that. I got a bad pain. My knee is paining. Am I experiencing the pain? So I am the drashta. Pain is the drishya. Drishya is object. I witness this clock. This clock is an object. Subject and object. Remember English grammar? Subject is the doer. An object is being done to. I am seeing the clock. I am feeling the pain. The pain cannot be I. The pain is something which I witness. I sense it. I feel it. It is the drishya. So this is how the great masters, they are, despite Paramahansa Ramakrishna suffering from intense pain, Buddha suffering from intense pain, but they are smiling because they themselves are not, they know, yes, the body is paining. All they do, they cut off their consciousness from the mind, which in turn the mind is feeling. So this is called the natural state, is no sickness state. And the moment oneness comes in amongst everyone, quarrel stops, suffering stops, sicknesses and diseases stop. You are one. It is not that you were born yesterday, you will die tomorrow. It is you are always there. The body is born yesterday, body will go through, body will age, body will deteriorate, body will die, but you remain. And this is what is called Tattvam Asi. Aham Brahmasmi. I am Atman Brahman. Prajnana Brahman. That consciousness itself is Brahman. A quick story to close this understanding. Reflect on them. There is tremendous amount of the sense. Swami Vivekananda said, the essence of my life, if I have to summarize, are two. Teach into the humanity the divinity within and express in every walk of life. Teach into the humanity. The moment you realize it is your own, this consciousness, teach it to everyone and let it spread on to everybody. Everybody in the slum, to the rich state, to the high streets of the big towns, to the villages, everybody must understand. To do that, you have to do two things. Number one, that ego has to be removed. Oneness has to come. The moment I comes in, separation begins between you and I. Body, mind, name, form, separation. Ego has to go. Number two, how do you do that? Is living with purity and truthfulness. No telling lies. Start practicing it. Even in a joke, no telling lies. And the more in practice, you will see that it will dawn upon you. The other day, Achula was asking, how do we know that I am progressing? I did give her one answer. So what is the reason for Achula's asking that question? How do we know? It is because we need that ignorance to go away with knowledge. What does that mean? Supposing you are sleeping, you're in deep sleep, and somebody picks you up and takes you and put it into a beautiful flower garden. You're surrounded by flower. Beautiful, wonderful fragrance. But would you know about it? You would not know because you're in deep sleep of ignorance. So what do we have to do? What Vivekananda says, Uttishtata Jagrata. Chadaibati, Chadaibati. Close this with a small story. A little villager wants to realize God. He comes to the ashram and said, I want to be a bhakta, a disciple. The Guru said, okay, do you know what you have to do to become a disciple? He said, no, please tell me. He said, you have to cook, you have to sweep, you have to clean, you have to wash and, cut the vegetables and all these stuffs. And then you have to do studies, and then you have to do meditation, and then you have to practice and japa and mantra. So this young guy says, and what does the Guru, teacher have to do? He said, teacher teaches, he sits, he watches over everyone, and he studies to understand, and then he teaches again. So the young bhakta says, okay, please teach me how to be a Guru. I don't want to be a bhakta. Now this is the problem with every one of us. We all want to be a good teacher, good bhakta, without transiting through the learned stage to become the learned. Learner to learned. So there is this young devotee comes and tells the Guru. And Guru naturally is making him sweep and clean to bring inner discipline, control, Shravanam, Mananam, Nididhyasanam. Remember Shata Sampatti, Viveka Vairaga, Shama Dama Uparati. Recollect that? So was being guided. This boy, after 1 month, he says, Gurudev, you are not teaching me anything. All I am doing is sweeping and cleaning and cutting vegetable. Gurudev said, you have to continue to do it. Okay, now you start cooking. And now you start washing. After a while, when he gets tired, now he says, I have not come here to do all this stuff. You're just using me as a servant. I'm going away. He takes 2 kaupin vastra and 1 kamandut. He said, I am going. Gurudev said, don't do it. He said, no sir, I am going. The Gurudev said, okay, since he is the true Guru, he said, I'll come with you. I'll select a place for you. So they go deep into the forest. Nearby there was a village. He said, you can go once in a while and take Viksha from there, and you stay in this place, under this tree. So disciples settle down there, Gurudev goes back. And at night, when he wakes up in the morning and he sees he had two kopin vastra, one he was wearing, the other one has been eaten up by a rat. And he says, oh God, I am renouncing my life for you and you got my kopin vastra also to be eaten up. Very sad, his face is small, and he goes on to the village. Village headman said, sir, what happened? Why are you looking so sad? He said, this is the problem. He said, don't worry, I'll give you a cat. Cat will take care of the rat. He takes the cat and brings it. Cat kills the rat, all right, but the cat wants to eat something now. The cat is wanting mew, mew, milk. Where is the milk going to come from? It kills one or two rats and eats. Now, headman comes to see, Maharaj, how are you there? He said, see, this is the problem now. How do I get him milk? He said, don't worry, I'll give you a cow. He gives him a cow. The cow comes in. And cow gives him milk. He drinks his little milk and he gives it to the cat and they're growing happily. Soon enough, cow starts to doing hamba. Where is my food? The cow was left to go around a little bit free, but that's finished. Now, again, the headman comes. He said, now what happened? He said, the cow needs something to eat. What do we do? The headman said, don't worry, I'll send you some boys. They will clear up this place and plant grass. And they came and planted grass, and the cow is happy, cat is happy, this disciple is happy. 1 year passed. They're practicing. The devotee, the bhakta. Now headman comes and says, sir, Maharaj, you've been here, our children are here, now all the parents are wanting them back, they have got a lot of work to be done. He said, then who's going to look after this field and the cow? He said, why don't you have your own children? My children? How? I'll give you my daughter. Headman gives his daughter. And he marries the daughter, and after a while, Gurudev comes back searching for this devotee. And he comes and he sees there are children playing, and there is a hut, and there is a nice paddy field, and there is quite a plumpish man is sitting there. And he goes and says, listen, I had left so-and-so name, Vikshuk Prana, as the devotee Bhakta. Do you know anything about him? And this man jumps up and he does a Sashtang Pranam and says, Gurudev, that is me only. He said, what? You? What has happened all this? That Bhakta said, Gurudev, you won't believe, it is all because of one rat. So dear devotees, be careful. In this journey, express the divinity from within, lead a pure life, holding on to the truth and oneness alone. Jai Guru. I finish with the session today. Asato ma satgamaya, tamaso ma jyotir gamaya, mrityur ma amritam gamaya. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. May all of you be purified. May the divine protection of healing heal everyone. May no sickness and disease enter anywhere close to where you are and where your near and dear ones are. May no shortage in life, either money or peace or happiness or ananda, be there in your life. May all be protected. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti.